The anarchist, well, because I just want to know, because obviously, I don't know if you know the obvious. There was one point where if you were born, you would not have been allowed to vote.
Yeah,
either.
I bet voting isn't a fucking right either. I mean, but my position on voting not being a right is obviously a little different from Nick's position, because I don't believe anybody, for that matter, of any ilk has the capacity to be voting on behalf of, and like we have in our case, like with the federal government, you know, millions upon millions of people. We get a bunch of dickheads in Washington that get to make decisions on behalf of millions of fucking people. So, you know, I'm obviously anti-democracy. That is not freedom by any sort of means. So I don't look at the concept of voting as I don't even discuss this. Like when I have these conversations on Blaze all the time, like I even despise how we discuss voting as if it's like a positive thing in the first place. When you understand the reality of dealing with people in the everyday world, and most people are fucking stupid. So why would I want them to be making decisions on my behalf? So yeah, voting it never has been a right, and I don't believe that it certainly is a right, but it's obviously just a little different from where Nick is coming from. But yeah, you won't catch me championing for more people to be able to vote, because again, it's not a right. It never was.
Where do we draw the line though? Because I think what is interesting though is I've always thought about this too when I talk to people about these things. Like we live in such an idealist world, especially commentators or ideologues talk in such a like, this is obviously what I see an ideal for the world, but it's never really truly possible, probably at least in your lifetimes, to like see what you would want. It would take many generations and people and a lot of changes over time. But it's like, when you look at something and you talk about going backwards, I always wonder, like, this is where I start to become a little more anarchist, because it's like, is there really a way to preserve? Is there anything to preserve? Or is a system so broken that it'd have to just be destroyed or separated from and take what you wanted? Like, could you take the current system and reform it?
Well, no, that I don't believe. But I think there's a difference between, obviously, culture and the state. You know what I mean? I don't believe that those are the same exact thing. So same thing goes for like country and state. Now, yeah, they are conflated, and a lot of people look at those as the same exact thing. But people having their set of values or things that they want to preserve, I don't see that in itself as something that is negative, which is why I've always set my sights on, you know, government or the state or something like that, not sitting here, wanting, white folk begging for their acceptance or some corny shit like that. Like that's not what I'm necessarily interested in. I just want folks who, let's say, are in these positions of power to be out of fucking jobs. That would be my absolute fucking preference. I don't sit up there and get in these arguments about, who's gonna reseat, you know, Nancy Pelosi or something like that. I'd rather Nancy Pelosi not have a goddamn job. That's my certain preference. So, but you're right, and to your point that yeah, looking at liberty, it's something that's going to be very difficult to achieve in our life. Definitely when we have a bunch of brainlets that are walking around. I still think it's something worth striving for, and I certainly think it's something that on net could be achieved in our lifetime. It's just going to take obviously a lot of changing of hearts and minds, and voting certainly ain't going to get us out of this shit.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV, with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here. And let's go.